Welcome to our Couch to Couch session of webinars that we're going to be doing. Obviously, we're living all in quite interesting times at the moment. And the big thing for us is keep communicating with not only our customers, but also people that are going through these odd times with COVID-19 causing some fun and games. What we're doing as part of this series is helping understand how other companies are dealing with it, how other companies have been evolving their capabilities. And I've got the pleasure today of having Dmitri join us, and Dmitri will join us, explain his role inside the company at Revolut. But one of the great things about Dmitri, and congratulations Dmitri, by the way, is FStech announced you as being the security product of the year this year, which is great, a great award to have, and you've been instrumental in doing that. So please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi Chris, hi everyone, my name is Dmitri and I joined Revolut in October 2017 to tackle card fraud. And in about 9 months, or just under a year, I built, with the help of my team, a system which we called Sherlock. So what is Sherlock? Sherlock is our machine learning based fraud detective that continuously monitors our customers' card transactions, and when it notices a suspicious one, it blocks it. So in other words, I help our customers keep their money safe by building intelligent systems.
Obviously, you've been developing this product over the last sort of year plus. You've got the awards now, which is great, and great recognition of the hard work you've been doing. And obviously, as organizations grow what they're doing with the technology, moving from that sort of CI/CD or agile approach to developing products, or even companies looking at even now concepts are coming up as low code. What are you doing, and how are you sort of getting yourself ready for sort of growth and taking on board those best practices?
Before joining Revolut, I was fortunate to have experience working at 2 Fortune 500 companies, where I was able to observe this transition from the traditional waterfall approach to agile. But when I came to Revolut, now imagine, it's October 2017. All team members sit in one big room. Not only just one team member, but just the whole company sits in one big room. And there is no luxury of having scrum masters or project managers in your project. Everyone is working not because they have to or need to, but because they want to. They want to deliver great value, great product, and so on. So I was in the very same position. I started as a one-person team, having worked round the clock just to build Sherlock, driven by this desire to catch fraud. And it's just a few months ago, my team started to grow. It now consists of two additional team members, and we have to structure our work to make it more manageable, more visible to our management. And as a result, we've adopted something which emerged quite recently, which how I see it is beyond agile. It's the idea which was initially popularized by Eric Rice in his book, The Lean Startup. So the Lean Startup is all about learning what the market wants. And the iteration loops, the development iteration loops, go around build, measure, and learn. So in such quick iterations, we test if our ideas are valuable to the marketplace. And as a result, the speed with which we develop our products is just skyrocketing, I would say. So now, as my team keeps growing, I have to adopt some project management tools and so on. But nevertheless, this idea of build, measure, learn, the ideas of the lean startup are within Revolut quite strong, and I would say the majority of teams work in such a manner. There is always a place for waterfall, for agile, and for lean startup, depending on what projects you need to deliver.
So how have your organization's working practices changed with the current COVID-19 and the isolation approach that most countries are now taking on board?
What I must say is that I'm very grateful to our management, who at first made a clear statement that all employees who work from home should work from home and not from Starbucks, so that they would use the protected secure Wi-Fi. And besides, everyone who needed additional equipment like monitors, like keyboards, they were able to order them for free to get them delivered to their homes. And given that, I would say that our work practices haven't changed much. And what I mean by that is that even before this crisis, at Revolut, we had a generous policy to work from home at least one time a week. And as a result, we were used to such kind of working manner. Not to mention the fact that Revolut has got offices all around the world, and we are used to delivering value with such distributed teams. The phase we are going through is quite challenging, but still we are doing great given everything that I have mentioned, all the work practices that we have adopted at Revolut.
Great. So with that in mind, obviously some organizations are seeing significant peaks in their activity. Some organizations have seen obviously almost a turn off completely of activity. How are you set up for being able to deal with those peaks and troughs of activity inside your organization?
Right. So the benefit of Revolut using cloud computing lies in the fact that we can quickly adapt to such peaks and troughs, as you have mentioned, Chris. So while developing products that are able to scale on demand is quite demanding, if I can say it like that, the benefit of cloud is that it takes literally almost nothing to spin resources up and down as we see fit. So the demand that we currently see, for example, in people making purchases at Tesco stores, which is quite understandable, according to the economists, it's no different to what Tesco experiences during Christmas period. So we have survived a lot of Christmas periods already. Still, if we see a surge in traffic, the fact that Revolut is built fully on cloud allows us to spin up resources up and down as we see fit.
How do you see the change or attitude of cloud coming out of this COVID-19 situation that we're in?
Well, I believe the trend to move towards cloud will become even stronger. Even before this crisis, the cloud providers, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, have been increasing the number of companies that they have been helping. Today, like imagine if you have an office with on-premise infrastructure, like who's gonna look after it in these unfortunate times? However, if you're using the cloud, you have the army of world-class engineers looking after your infrastructure while you are able to focus on your business, on what you do best.
How have you used Couchbase, and what was the decision process you went through?
Couchbase is an inherent part of Sherlock. And what I mean by that is whenever you as a customer make a purchase, Sherlock needs to take your purchasing profile, which consists of aggregated information about your previous purchases. There are certain requirements behind the database that needs to store these user profiles. Imagine if Sherlock needs to respond in under 50 milliseconds, I don't have the luxury of using, for example, cloud managed databases or other vendors that don't satisfy my latency requirements. In addition, since these profiles have the data stored in the form of a JSON, I want to be able to look at those profiles if I need to debug something, for example. Besides, Sherlock is a mission-critical application. It needs to be on 24/7. And as a result, given such requirements as low latency, availability to store JSON documents, and the resilience to any infrastructure failures which might happen in the cloud, made me certain that Couchbase is the best solution in this scenario. In December 2019, we moved Couchbase to Kubernetes. As a result, having the Couchbase autonomous operator looking after this database with millions of users' profiles have allowed me to focus on building Sherlock, on improving it, and forgetting about managing the infrastructure underlying the database. If I want to increase or decrease the capacity of the database, all I need is just to change one single value in the configuration file, and the Couchbase autonomous operator takes care of everything else. So that's just the way to improve productivity while decreasing the costs and passing the savings on to our customers.
Great. So it sounds like obviously Couchbase not only provides you with the database that allows you Sherlock to do its analysis fast, but also the operational tasks that the autonomous operator has provided for you. Changing the game or the conversation just a little bit. One of the things that people are concerned about is obviously there are people taking advantage of this situation. The fraudsters will find ways of trying to do social engineering, both on employees as well as your customers. How are you getting ahead of those sorts of things? Or, you know, what is the process you're going through to try and identify those sorts of activities and help educate your employees and your customers better?
Chris, you've touched a very important point. Like, while we are all living in this lockdown, in this crisis period, fraudsters probably live in some kind of other dimension. They try to exploit this whole situation. So let me give you an example. Imagine you are either a business owner or a retail customer of Revolut, and you receive a phone call from a person who says that he is your bank, or he is from Revolut, and he tells you that you are eligible for a government grant of, say, 50K. And all you need is just to make an initial deposit of, say, £1,000 to a particular bank account. And using some manipulation techniques and clever words, some people do get into this trap. They transfer their money to these bank accounts, and of course they don't get any money back. So such cases, and also cases of what we call account takeover, when once again fraudsters call our customers and customers end up giving them all their security details like PINs and passwords. These fraud cases happen, unfortunately. What we do at Revolut is we keep educating our customers by publishing blog posts, videos, and so on, but that's of course not enough. We have intelligence systems both in place and the ones that we keep building that continuously monitor our customers' card and transfer transactions. And when they notice a suspicious activity, they will block the account and request the user to verify their identity by taking a photo. And we would verify if the actual account, if the current user is actually the account holder of Revolut. So we are living in the challenging times, and this is a never-ending battle against fraudsters. And hopefully, with your help, our customers and our intelligence systems, we will win this battle. Absolutely,
and as my daughter explained to me, she's using your services too, so she needs to. I want you to make sure she's safe too on that sort of thing too. Thank you. And let's come to a sort of a wrap-up question. This is more of, I suppose, a philosophical type question, and worthwhile just sort of putting out there as a concept. We're going to come out of this at some point. Are there new ways in which people are going to work compared to what people have been doing, over the last few weeks?
That's indeed a very philosophical question, like thinking about the future, right? Even today, the best economists cannot predict how the future will look like, and they are quite hesitant to issue any forecasts because there are multiple scenarios of how this whole situation might evolve. However, what is definitely certain already today is that the world is changing. It started to change long before this pandemic. For example, the percentage of e-commerce transactions in 2020 has reached about 15%. I'm pretty sure that during this time and after the crisis, the percentage of e-commerce transactions will just keep growing. So if you, as for example, a retail store owner, didn't have online presence, well, now is the best time. Now is the best time to find a way to help your customers discover you online. I see loads of innovation happening in education, in personal coaching programs. Like there are numerous of online classes in yoga, in tennis, and so on. The way our children are educated these days is also changing with the advancements in online education. So there are three things that I think are important to understand in the times that we're living in. Firstly, is that we have to be adaptable. We have to adapt to the changing circumstances, because even like Charles Darwin said, it's not the strongest nor the smartest species that survive, but the most adaptable. And to give you a practical example, like look at what General Motors and Ford are doing. They are, and Tesla, of course, as well. They are transforming from manufacturing cars to manufacturing the ventilators. Yeah. And the second item is that we have to keep innovating. In the innovation aimed at increasing productivity is vital, especially at these times, to tackle the dip in the productivity resulted by this crisis. And innovation can happen in all areas of life. It's not only just technical innovation or designing new products. It's also the innovation within how policies are created, how you charge your customers, and even the innovation inside our households, I guess, as well. So, and the final point is that it's all about the mindset. It's all about understanding the factors that we can control and that we can't, and that the future is bright. There are so much resources available and so many problems to solve that any person willing to take charge and apply his or her knowledge to solving a problem has got no problem, because resources are abundant.
Hey, Dmitri, it's been an absolute pleasure spending some time with you today. Hopefully the people who are watching this get some really good value out of it. We'll be doing a series of these Couch to Couch sessions. So thank you very much for watching. Please let us know if you'd like any specific topics covered for next time. But thank you very much for taking the time. Dmitri, thank you again for taking time with us. Pleasure to be doing business with you and spending some time with you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.